Harun al Rashid was the fifth Abbasid Caliph, ruling from 786 to 809. His reign is often considered the peak of the Islamic Golden Age. Born in Ray, near modern-day Tehran, he was the son of Caliph al-Mahdi and a former slave girl named al-Khayzuran. His mother, al-Khayzuran, was a woman of immense influence and political acumen. Harun's early life was steeped in the luxury and intrigue of the Abbasid court. He received a thorough education in theology, jurisprudence, history, and the arts. His tutor was the influential Barmakid, Yahya ibn Khalid. At the age of 18, Harun was appointed to lead military campaigns against the Byzantine Empire. These campaigns were largely successful, enhancing his reputation and earning him the honorific title al-Rashid, meaning the rightly guided. He ascended to the caliphate after the mysterious death of his older brother, al-Hadi. His reign began under the powerful influence of his mother and the Barmakid family. The Barmakids, a Persian family of viziers, effectively ran the administration of the empire in the early years of his rule. Ja'far al-Barmaki, in particular, was a close friend and companion to Harun. Under Barmakid guidance, the Abbasid Caliphate reached its zenith of power and prosperity. Baghdad became the world's center for science, philosophy, medicine, and education. The House of Wisdom, or Beit al-Hikmah, was established and expanded during his time. Scholars from all over the known world were invited to Baghdad. Great works of Greek, Persian, and Indian literature and science were translated into Arabic. This translation movement preserved and built upon the knowledge of ancient civilizations. Harun al Rashid himself was a patron of the arts and a poet. His court was a legendary center of luxury, music, and lavish entertainment. He was known for his generosity, often distributing large sums of money to the poor. However, his reign was not without its problems. There were numerous uprisings and rebellions throughout the vast empire. The Karayites, a puritanical Islamic sect, caused persistent trouble in the provinces. Rivalries and conflicts with the Byzantine Empire were a constant feature of his rule. In 806, Harun led a massive army, one of the largest ever assembled by the Abbasids, into Anatolia. This campaign was a response to the Byzantine Emperor Nicephorus I's refusal to pay tribute. Harun's forces captured several cities and fortresses, forcing Nicephorus to sue for peace. The peace treaty was humiliating for the Byzantines, who had to pay a personal tribute for the emperor and his son. One of the most dramatic events of Harun's reign was the sudden and brutal fall of the Barmakids. In 803, Harun ordered the execution of his longtime friend Ja'far and the imprisonment of the rest of the family. The exact reasons for this sudden reversal of fortune remain a subject of historical debate. Some theories suggest their immense wealth and power had grown to challenge the Caliph's own authority. Others point to a secret love affair between Ja'far and Harun's sister, Abbasa. The story goes that Harun arranged a nominal marriage between them, so they could be in his company together. But they violated his condition that the marriage remain unconsummated. Whatever the reason, the fall of the Barmakids sent shockwaves through the empire. Harun al Rashid is also famous for his diplomatic exchanges with Charlemagne, the Frankish king. These exchanges were likely motivated by a shared enmity towards the Umayyads of Cordoba and the Byzantine Empire. The most famous gift from Harun to Charlemagne was an intricate water clock, a marvel of engineering. Another gift was an elephant named Abul Abbas. The elephant's journey from Baghdad to Aachen was an epic undertaking in itself. Harun's reign saw the development of a sophisticated postal service, the Barid. This system not only carried mail, but also served as an intelligence network for the Caliph. He established the first hospital in Baghdad, a Bimaristan. These hospitals were advanced for their time, with separate wards for different diseases. Paper mills, first established after the Battle of Talas, proliferated under his rule. This availability of inexpensive paper fueled the explosion of scholarship and literature. Despite the cultural flourishing, the empire's finances were often strained by the Caliph's extravagance and military campaigns. Harun al Rashid is perhaps best known to the world through the 1001 Nights, Arabian Nights. In these stories, he's a central character, often depicted wandering the streets of Baghdad in disguise. The Harun of the Nights is a romanticized figure, a wise and just ruler who seeks to understand the lives of his subjects. This fictional portrayal has largely overshadowed the historical reality of his complex and often ruthless rule. The stories often feature his vizier, Ja'far, and his court poet, Abu Nuwas. Abu Nuwas was a master of Arabic poetry, known for his celebration of wine and love. Harun's wife, Zubaydah, was also a significant figure, known for her piety in massive public works projects. She is most famous for commissioning the Darb Zubaydah's Road, a route for pilgrims from Iraq to Mecca. The road was equipped with wells, reservoirs, and rest houses for the pilgrims' safety and comfort. Towards the end of his reign, Harun made a fateful decision to divide the empire between his sons, Al-Amin and Al-Mamun Totikol. Al-Amin, the son of Zubaydah, was designated as the primary heir. Al-Mamun, whose mother was a Persian concubine, was made governor of Khorasan and given significant autonomy. This division, formalized in the Mecca Accords of 802, was intended to prevent conflict but ultimately caused it. In 808, Harun traveled to Khorasan to deal with another rebellion. He fell ill during the journey and died in Tus, in modern-day Iran, in March 809. His death immediately triggered the Fourth Fitna, a devastating civil war between his sons. The civil war would last for years and cause immense destruction, including a devastating siege of Baghdad. Harun al Rashid's legacy is thus a dual one. He was the ruler of a magnificent cultural and scientific golden age. Yet, his reign also contained the seeds of the empire's eventual decline. The romanticized image from the Arabian Nights ensures his name remains one of the most famous in Middle Eastern history. The historical Harun was a more complex figure, a capable administrator, a ruthless politician, a patron of culture, and a pious Muslim. He performed the Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca multiple times, sometimes on foot. His personal piety coexisted with the immense luxury of his court. The economy of the empire was based on agriculture, trade, and taxation. The introduction of the check, sack, facilitated long-distance trade. Harun's military was a professional force, with a corps of Khorasani soldiers who were loyal to the Abbasid dynasty. He was the first Abbasid Caliph to play polo. His court was filled with eunuchs who served as administrators, guards, and servants. The harem was a vast and secluded part of the palace, home to hundreds of women. Zubaydah, as the Caliph's principal wife, ruled over the harem. The Caliph's decision to move his capital from Baghdad to Raqqa for a period was significant. This move was partly to be closer to the Byzantine frontier and partly to escape the pressures of the Baghdad elite. The story of the three apples from the Arabian Nights is a famous detective story featuring Harun. In the story, he demands that Ja'far solve a murder mystery or face execution. This tale, though fictional, reflects the absolute power the Caliph held over his subjects, even his closest friends. Harun's era saw the flourishing of Islamic jurisprudence and the codification of Sharia law. Abu Yusuf was Harun's chief judge, Qadi al-Quwat, and wrote a major work on taxation and governance. The agricultural revolution in the Islamic world was in full swing, with new crops and irrigation techniques. This agricultural surplus supported the growth of large, cosmopolitan cities like Baghdad. The Caliph's personal zoo was famous, housing exotic animals like giraffes and lions. Music theory also advanced significantly, with figures like Ishaq al-Mawsili, Ishaq al-Mawsili was a celebrated musician and a close confidant of the Caliph. The fall of the Barmakids led to a more centralized, autocratic style of rule. Harun began to rely more on a new class of administrators who were entirely dependent on his favor. His decision to divide the succession was a catastrophic error in judgment. He underestimated the ambition of his sons and the regional loyalties they commanded. Al-Ma'mun, with his power base in the Persian-influenced East, was never going to accept a subordinate role. The civil war that followed his death is known as the Fourth Fitna, or Great Abbasid Civil War. This conflict severely weakened the central authority of the caliphate. It also led to a rise in the power of regional governors and military commanders. Despite these political failures, the cultural momentum of his reign continued for decades. Al-Ma'mun, who eventually won the civil war, was an even greater patron of science and philosophy than his father. Harun's tomb in Tus is located in the same complex that now houses the shrine of Imam Ali al-Rida, the 8th Shia Imam. The irony is that Al-Ma'mun had appointed al-Rida as his heir, but the Imam died and was buried there before he could inherit. Harun al Rashid's name evokes a sense of wonder, of a magical time and place. He ruled over a vast, multi-ethnic and multi-religious empire. His reign saw the Abbasid Caliphate at its greatest territorial extent. The tales of the Arabian Nights, while fictional, capture the spirit of Baghdad as the center of the world. The historical record reveals a ruler who was both enlightened and despotic. He fostered a climate of intellectual freedom unparalleled in his time. But he would not tolerate any political threat, real or perceived. His legacy is a testament to the brilliance and the fragility of the Islamic Golden Age. Harun al Rashid remains an iconic figure, forever intertwined with the magic and mystery of the 1001 Nights. The Caliph's court was not just a center of power, but a theater of culture. Storytellers, like the ones who would later imagine Scheherazade, were popular entertainers. The cuisine of the Abbasid court was famously elaborate and sophisticated. Cookbooks from the era, like the Kitab al-Tabik, the Book of Dishes, document this culinary artistry. Harun's relationship with his half-brother, Ibrahim ibn al-Mahdi, a famous gourmand and musician, was complex. The Caliph's spies were said to be everywhere, ensuring he was informed of everything that happened in his capital. The judicial system, while based on Sharia, allowed for the Caliph's personal intervention. The concept of Hizbah involved a market inspector, Mutasib, who ensured fair trade and public morality. Harun's personal wealth was immense, derived from land taxes and control over trade routes. He was a contemporary of the Tang dynasty in China, and trade along the Silk Road flourished. Abbasid pottery and textiles have been found as far away as Scandinavia and Korea. The city of Baghdad was meticulously planned as a circular city, known as the Round City. This design placed the Caliph's palace and the Grand Mosque at the very center, symbolizing his central role. The fall of the Barmakids can be seen as a reassertion of Arab political identity over Persian influence. After their fall, Arabic once again became the sole language of the administration. Harun's mother, Al-Khayzuran, died in 789, removing a major political influence from his life. Her death may have given him the confidence to eventually move against the Barmakids, who were her allies. The Caliph enjoyed hunting expeditions, using trained cheetahs and falcons. The logistics of his massive pilgrimage caravans were a marvel of organization. The 1001 Nights were compiled over many centuries, but their core stories often reflect the world of Harun's Baghdad. The character of Sinbad the Sailor, with his fantastic voyages, reflects the commercial ambitions and geographical curiosity of the Irae.Mdacier. The Caliph's decision to have the succession agreement hosted inside the Kaaba shows his attempt to use religion to legitimize a political act. The civil war between his sons was also a war of ideas. Al-Amin, representing the Arabi-centric traditionalists, and Al-Ma'mun, the more cosmopolitan, rationalist faction. Harun's personal library was said to be vast, second only to the great public libraries. He was a patron of technology, funding engineers who built automata and other clever devices. The stability of his reign allowed for an unprecedented level of urbanization across the empire. His legacy is so powerful that many later rulers in the Islamic world sought to imitate his style and patronage. The name Harun al Rashid has become a shorthand for the splendor and romance of a lost golden age. The Caliph's health was a concern in his later years, possibly suffering from a chronic illness. His final campaign, undertaken while he was already sick, shows his strong sense of duty. The destruction of the Barmakids, while politically decisive, deprived him of his most capable administrators and his closest friend. The financial cost of his court's luxury was a significant burden on the state treasury. His diplomatic outreach to China's Ten Court is less famous than his contact with Charlemagne, but was also significant. The Abbasid revolution that brought his family to power had been built on a coalition of Arabs and Persians. Harun's reign represented the high point of this synthesis before it began to fracture. The figure of Masrur, the court executioner, is a recurring character in the Arabian Nights, symbolizing the Caliph's darker, judicial side. The Caliph's interest in technology was not just for amusement. He also sponsored advancements in military and irrigation technology. The social structure was hierarchical, with the Caliph and his court at the top, followed by officials, merchants, artisans, and farmers. Non-Muslims, dhimmis, played a vital role in the society, especially in scholarship and commerce. Harun's decision to move the capital to Raqqa also led to a massive building program there. He eventually moved back to Baghdad, which remained the true heart of the empire. The end of his reign was marked by a growing sense of unease and uncertainty about the future. Ultimately, Harun al Rashid's story is a powerful lesson in the complexities of power, culture, and history.